6:05 right now, and new this morning. Some fear whenever the next pandemic hits, it may be worse than COVID, leaving California and the U.S. poorly prepared, unorganized, and underfunded, especially if lawmakers follow through on planned budget cuts. Today in the Bay's Bob Redell joins us live outside Lawrence Livermore Lab this morning. And Bob, there's a growing call to action here.
Correct. And part of this criticism, Laura, is coming from the Bipartisan Commission on Biodefense, which just released a list of recommendations on what the country should do right away, not only to prepare for the next pandemic, but for a possible bioterror attack. One of the suggestions is replace BioWatch. That's the National Biological Detection System that was created after the anthrax attacks back in 2001, using aerosol detection technology developed here at the Livermore Lab behind me. The commission says the BioWatch technology is ineffectual and the program itself a waste of money. The commission's national blueprint for biodefense found that there are over 25 federal entities that are only partially engaged with little coordination to provide some sort of response to another pandemic or biological attack. The report lists 36 recommendations and 185 action items to better prepare our country. Suggestions include making the president's national security advisor the official leader of national biodefense. We learned during COVID that the country better needs to stop the transmission of pathogens inside buildings and other indoor spaces. The report is asking for improvement there. And they also want the country to stop the, quote, panic and neglect cycle of funding, in which the country panics, provides emergency funding, then doesn't continue funding after the crisis has passed.
We're going to have another biological incident of some kind, either natural or man-made, and we're not ready, and that's pretty scary.
You know, we told the public when we put our first report out in 2015, and we told the Congress and we told the public, it's not a question of if there's going to be a pandemic, it's just a question of when. We're not ready. And now you would think after losing 1 million people plus that we have learned a lot of lessons. And we've learned some, but there are more lessons that have to be learned and more work that has to be done.
As I mentioned, the commission has released a number of recommendations and action items that you can read about in their full report online at the biodefensecommission.org website. Later this morning, county public health directors and frontline workers, they're going to hold a news conference to call on the state legislature to reject Governor Newsom's proposed $300 million in cuts to public health, which they argue would turn the clock back on California's ability to fight disease and would repeat the same mistakes that killed people during COVID. Governor Newsom says the state has a budget shortfall and that, according to the Sacramento Bee, quote, we have to be sober about the reality of what our priorities are. Reporting live here in Livermore, Bob Redell, Today in the Bay.